All rise. Judge Vonda B. Court is now in session. Judge, this is the case of the cook.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Cook, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Your Honor, I've got a 13-year-old daughter and a ex-husband that's decided to start his life over, but I can't do that because I've got a child to take care of, and I need some help doing that.
All right, get ready, because this case is about to get pretty interesting. We've got a mom who's doing everything she can to support her daughter, and a dad who says he can't pay child support because he's a full-time student. It's a tricky situation. Should being in school mean you don't have to pay your share, or do responsibilities always come first? And let's not forget, he's in law school. Will the judge buy his excuse, or does he actually have a point? Stick around, because the decision here might surprise you.
Start his life over. He remarried.
He's decided to go back to school.
That's a good thing, right?
That's fine, but it doesn't help us any.
Okay, you mean financially?
Financially, right.
Okay, what type of activities are your daughter, involved?
She wants to do cheerleading, and she's on student council.
Okay. And I'm assuming student council costs, they have a membership fee or something?
They have membership fees, and they have a lot of activities that they do that they're involved in because it's kind of a leadership thing, and so they have a lot of things that they have to go to as well.
Okay. All right, and you're just looking for some financial assistance?
I'm just asking for some help.
Sounds pretty straightforward, sir. Is there a reason why you don't want to give her any money to pay for your daughter?
Hold up. He's remarried and back in school. That's a big change. But does it mean he gets to wipe the slate clean on his responsibilities? The mom isn't having it. She's making it clear that she didn't get the chance to hit the reset button. She's still got a child to raise. So here's the big question. Should a parent's personal growth come before their financial duties? Let's see how the judge handles this one.
Well, it's not that I don't want to pay. It's just I'm not working at all. I'm a full-time student.
Okay.
My tuition is paid for, and I've got a Pell Grant, and I get basically $3,200 for a school year to help cover my living expenses as well. So,
do they break that up by semester?
It's broken up by semester. I have to maintain grades and stay in school. I have to prove that to be able to continue to get receive the grant. So I'm just trying to further my education. I understand my daughter's important to me. I love her very much, but I'm going back to law. I'm trying to get into law school, so I'm trying to figure out how to better it in the long run.
Okay. That sounds pretty fair, ma'am. Are you aware that he gets this Pell Grant money?
Yes, ma'am, I am. But I know a lot of students also work at least a part-time job.
Right.
And,
Here comes the classic I'd love to help, but defense. He's claiming he's a full-time student with no job. And sure, law school isn't cheap. But let's be honest, he still has some income. So, should that money be off limits just because it's for school, or does child support come first? Let's see how Judge Vonderby handles this one.
The money he's getting with the Pell Grant, I know it's not a lot, but again, I'm only a daycare worker, so I don't get a lot of money either, and I need some help even just with her normal everyday things. I'm paying for her insurance as it is, and just trying to keep things going is difficult.
Right, I understand, but you can't squeeze blood out of a rock. Okay, you understand that, right?
Yes.
He's only going to be obligated to pay whatever it is that he has as income. Although some students may work, not all full-time students have a job either. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. So
Mom's not letting that slide. She's pointing out that lots of students still manage to work while they are in school. And she's got a point. College students everywhere juggle jobs to support themselves and their families. So the real question is, if others can make it work, why can't he? The tension's building, and I can't wait to see how the judge breaks it down.
The information that he provided and that the testimony that you both gave, him confirming the amount of money that he receives from going to school, and you knowing that, that's all he's going to be obligated to give you at the moment. Now, later, at some time when he does, presumably go to law school or anything like that, you can receive extra money after he starts working. But as for right now, I can't take more from him than what he has. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So $3,200 per school year is not even, he's not even making a full year worth of that money. You said a semester is broken down, so like $1,600 or so.
Judge Vonderby is being clear. She can't take money that isn't there, and that's just the way it is. But that leaves Mom carrying most of the financial weight for now. Is that fair? Maybe not. But the law has its limits, and sometimes that's how things play out. But don't worry, this case isn't over yet.
All right. So I'm living with somebody else that's going to school. So we're helping split the expenses, trying to make it last as long as we possibly can.
Right. So, ma'am, based on what he's telling me, and I have to assume his testimony is true until you provide me with anything different. That's all he has at this time. So that's all that I can calculate off of. So because of that, $3,200 is not a lot of money. So I would have to base his child support on minimum wage. You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Any sort of help would help.
Okay. It's something. It's something.
Right.
It may not cover everything, but you also work. So until he's able to get a better, not necessarily a better job because he's not working right now, but maybe, as he keeps going through school, he may get more money from a Pell Grant. We don't necessarily know, but until that happens, he'll be at.
Hold on a second. He's splitting expenses with someone else, which means his cost of living is lower than if he were on his own. So, shouldn't that give him a bit more room to contribute? Maybe Mom's got a point after all. Let's see if the judge connects the dots.
Amount. So gross of minimum wage is $1,256. Net of $1,134.87, which brings your monthly obligation to $226.97. That's based on minimum wage. Okay. All right. Would that 226 help cover something with student council?
Yes,
something
ma'am.
There it is. The big moment. Since Dad doesn't have a steady income, the court's setting his child support based on minimum wage. That's the law, and it makes sense. But here's the twist, that number won't stay the same for long. The moment his income goes up, so does his child support. So Dad better start thinking ahead.
I just needed some help. I wasn't expecting him to do everything.
Okay. All right. And sir, you understand that, correct?
So when does that start?
That starts today.
Okay.
The obligation starts today. Just know that in the future, when you get a job or you start receiving more money for some reason from your Pell Grant, you have an obligation to report that. And if you don't, she can actually report it and bring you back to court. And at that time, you will be paying more than minimum wage and child support. Just want to make sure you understand.
Now this part is important. Mom's not asking him to cover everything. She just wants a little help. And that's what child support is really about. Helping out, not punishing anyone. So even if the amount is small for now, it's something. But what do you think? Is that fair? Let me know in the comments.
So if you become a big time lawyer one day and, for some reason your child is still under the age of 18, your child support can still go up.
Judge Vonderby just hit Dad with a reality check. If he makes it big as a lawyer, he could be paying a lot more down the line. And honestly, that's only fair. If you're pulling in six figures, $226 a month won't cut it. So while he's buried in textbooks now, he might want to keep that in mind for the future.
I got it.
Okay. Any questions from either of you?
Yeah.
Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
And there you have it. In the end, the judge made a fair call based on the law. Dad has to pay child support, but only based on what he's currently earning. The big takeaway? Being a student doesn't cancel out your responsibilities as a parent, but the court also won't expect you to pay money you don't have. What do you think? Should Dad have been ordered to pay more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're into these courtroom breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more wild legal showdowns.